Alex. Hello, Sheik. Hello, Randy. I'm so close to UL 60, guys. I'm so close to UL 60. I just want to get my Q1 level 90 already. But I have to wait, I think 2 or 3 days. Hello, Silly Moore. Hello, Angel. Has been a while. Hello, Lobster Salad. Goonie Maru streaming 4,000 years. I did do one like, I think 3 or 4 days ago. Got E1 S1 constants in 90 pulls. Jeez, congratulations. That's huge. I've heard the E1 is apparently overrated. Is that true? Did something change? People are saying the E1 for constants is overrated. I'm trying to remember what it is. Is it like everybody gets the break buff and then also she removes 25% max toughness bar on enemies once? I don't see how that's bad. I can understand why it probably isn't great, because if you have E1 Fugue, you can just make your DPS always do more break damage, which is probably more valuable. Then there's also E2 Fugue with the DDD, but you also get an extra SB multiplier increase. Oh, I see. I spent 200 pulls to get constants in E2 Firefly. Tell me I bricked account without telling me I bricked my account. I mean, that's not a bricked account, though. E2 Firefly plus E0S1 constants, like, I already talked about it even before she officially released. My opinion was she is low tier Amphorius DPS level with Cyrene, mid tier without Cyrene. And it seems Pridewin agrees. Like, they put her in the same spot. But that's with E0. You have E2 Firefly, which is like a pretty big game changer. I think you're in a good spot, personally. At least for a decent while. Hello, Linkart. My Firefly was E0. I'm happy I went for my Break team. Yeah, Break is like genuinely investable. Like, currently, it's genuinely investable. They also have solid vertical investment because of Dahlia and Fugue. You know what I'm saying? Like, Fugue is already known for having, DDD. Like, people glaze the fuck out of the DDD on Fugue. And for the right reasons, right? So, the vertical investment on the Break team is really, really good. E1 Ruame is also free, which makes it much easier. I have been well, Suguru. I hope you've been doing well as well. E2 Sunday sucks. Let's just not talk about it, man. E1 Sunday, to be honest. E1 Sunday, it is insane how big of a scam they made E1 Sunday. It shouldn't even, like, oh my god, just thinking about it makes me mad, man. E2 Firefly with Gone Stints is pretty cracked, yeah. Should I get E2 Sunday or save for a future character? I currently have E1. No, don't go for E2 Sunday. Don't go for E2 Sunday. I got it on release. No, don't get me wrong. I also have an E1 Sunday. That's why I'm mad. Like, I'm pissed. Because I also pulled E1 Sunday on release. Don't worry. On my Phanon account. Did you see Zome's new vid? Nah. I saw Glaive Kios because it popped up on my For You page quickly. But I did not see, I think Zome's newer one. I already said I didn't want to make a video on it because in the first place, this drama shouldn't have gone as long as it did. Like, I thought it'd just instantly die in like a day. And it went way past like, oh, this guy's using AI to this guy's racist. So, I don't even know. E1 Sunday with E2 Eggy though. If I remember correctly, I think someone proved that E1 Sunday still doesn't work fully with Eggy even. Like only like there is a joint attack. However, the entire joint attack's damage doesn't get 40% defense shred, and it's only the summons. And Aglaya is like the main damage dealer. So even with Eggy, you still aren't getting like the full benefit. Meaning the only character in like the entirety of HSR who genuinely has basically full benefit from E1 Sunday is Jing Yuan. That's basically the only one. Isn't E1 Sunday really good if you're playing him with Fei Xiao slash Don Hung PT? Not really, in my opinion. Don Hung PT's damage isn't that significant unless you actually go to his E2. Like once you have an E2 Don Hung PT, I'd say yeah, E1 Sunday can have a noticeable difference there. Because E2 Don Hung PT gets double the dragon attacks, action advances the dragon every time he ults, and the dragons do double the damage. So it's like pretty disgusting Eidolon. At least for now, with HSR power creep, that Eidolon can look underwhelming in the future, but we'll see. How do you feel about them going from flying in Wuwa to motorcycle? Feels like two steps back to me personally. I can understand it. They don't want people to just be flying and completely ignoring the open world design. So they kind of tried to like go in the middle by giving solid travel that isn't as broken as flight, right? Or as fast as flight. Brain dead as flight. I whatever you want to call it. I can understand it, but I'd still prefer to have flight. I'm going to be completely honest. As someone who really doesn't care for like the open world designs in these games or like wow, this place just absolutely amazes me and I'm mainly just playing for like the characters and stuff. Me personally, subjectively, I just prefer to have flight because it's a lot more consistent. It's a lot easier. It seems to be faster as well. And you're probably not going to be able to use the motorcycle to get over ledges and mountains and stuff. They could also just build the Lahai Roy map to the point where you don't need to worry about that, and the motorcycle is like 99% of the time always good. So they could do that, but like I kind of doubt it. We'll see though. It's soon, isn't it? When's in like 6 days, 7 days? Hmm. When bro gonna fix his Wi-Fi? The reason I have 200 ping isn't because of my Wi-Fi. It's because I'm on C server. I made this account on the C server. 6 7. No, I didn't do that on purpose, bro. Uh, no way you didn't intentionally do that. I did it because this is already linked to one of my Woowa accounts. Like, I already have like this Woowa account already has American. So I didn't want to bother making a new account when I tried to, do my speed run for Galbraina. So I just put it on a different region instead, which was C. Because I think C gets updates faster. Or maybe it doesn't, I don't know. Maybe it gets it slower. I know in a game I used to play, like Asia gets it like I think HSR gets it faster on Asia and stuff. How are you? I lost a 50-50 to Dolly. I'm sad. I don't know if I try to farm as much as possible, get her, or just save for 4. I mean, it depends on the state of your account, man. If you have like a heavily invested in break team, then yeah, I'd say you can keep trying. But man, that sucks. 50-50 losses. I wish these games had guarantees like Bleach Soul Resonance. He back to Wua. I think like my last 5 streams have been Wua. Maybe one was HSR, maybe. But I think all my past like few streams have all been Wua. Soul Resonance Glaze, it genuinely deserves it. Outside of the core stamp shit, and like they already said they try to, you know, look for a new way to make core stamps more accessible. Um, they're giving they're giving a lot of pulls. So the original estimate that I said in my video, like my first video on Soul Resonance, was that they'd give enough to guarantee a character every patch, which is like 80 to 90. But with how things are going right now, it seems much more like they're giving like 120 to 130. You know what I'm saying? Like 120 to 130 pulls every month, which is way more significant. They have double guarantees, and the weapon banner is only 40 pity. Like, that's insane, man. The soft pity is weaker. That's the only thing, though. Like, there's a weaker soft pity in Soul Resonance as compared to, like, Wua HSR and stuff. But other than that, it's just so much better, man. It's not even close. I wish it had a PC client. If Bleach Soul Resonance had a PC client, I'd be making like 1 or 2 videos on it very consistently. Can't believe my Hoyo Shill betrayed me. I was never a Hoyo Shill, man. I just play the games I like more. The Hoyo Shill accusations. You want to know the funniest part? I think the first half year of my channel was me playing Wuwa, like mainly Wuwa Glaze. I switched to HSR because of convenience. That was it, and then I just like kept playing it. So I started off as what you'd call a Kuro bot, because back then, at the very beginning of my channel, all my content was like Wuwa Glaze and how I like it more than like Genshin and stuff. And then I just ended up moving on. The game has great rates. Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing, too. The chances of getting a limited 5-star in Soul Resonance, I swear to God, it's like double that of Wu or HSR. I think it's 1.86% chance of getting the limited 5-star on banner, and it's guaranteed. What is Wua's rate? Is it here? How do I check? Okay, yeah. It's 0.8%. 0.8%. Love HSR because of the story and gameplay. Hate every single decision they make. I mean, I don't even play HSR for the story. I mainly just play it for the gameplay and meta because it's fun. It's a little boring right now because there's no leaks or kits to talk about, but once there isn't a game I like more when it comes to talking about meta discussion. As a new HSR player, should I get any old meta characters once they rerun or just focus on new units? If you're a new player, the answer is always new units. Especially when we're on the verge of going into a new version. Like, if you were mid-version, you could probably go for, like, beginning of 3.x units. But otherwise, because we're about to go into 4.x, yeah, it's not recommended. Especially considering the current banners are, like, dog shit. They aren't even, like, the cream of the crop of the 3.x DPSs. It's Dahlia and Firefly, then Fugue and Boot Hill, and then Aglaia and Sunday. And if you're a new player, you probably don't even have Cyrene. And Cyrene's better for Aglaia than Sunday, so. Well, not by an insane amount, but. If I have a Gooner account, should I go for Constance? I mean, that depends on who you like in the game. But yeah, I guess. It's probably not going to go all too well, though. Oh, it's Fugue and Lang Sha? I see. Why do you have Saint Tontaz in your stream thumbnail? Isn't it a capybara? Are we calling capybara Saint Tontaz now? Have I been tainted by Taint Tontaz? Are you gonna pull for Aizen? Too broke. I just pulled Toshiro. I wasn't gonna pull Toshiro, but no joke, like 1 or 2 days before this guy's banner goes, and I got his core stamp from the guaranteed shadow box. So I was like, you know what? I might as fucking well. Gabby watches Saint? No. What? For my type of personality and the content I like seeing, Saint is the complete opposite. I wouldn't even say Saint is better than me at Wuwa. So it's like I can't even go to him for guides and shit. Because at this point, like I already know what characters need or what characters want instantly from seeing leaks. I got Dahlia, E2S1, and Firefly signature. Nice. That's some hefty investment into Dahlia. Not that I think you'll regret it. I've seen Dahlia like make everybody a super break DPS. Like that includes fucking HMC, Jui, March. I'm seeing some insane clears with those characters. Simply because people are like heavily vertically investing in break teams. Concept of watching Saint for guides. I mean, if you're a completely casual player, like I can understand it, 100%. I think Wuwa has way more casual players than HSR. So like, there's more of an audience for that type of stuff. Putting Toshiro and Momo with Aizen in the same team is diabolical. It is, it is. We'll see. Depending on how many pulls they give during Aizen's banner, there's a genuine shot I may actually have enough to afford him, even though I just got Toshiro and weapon. Because, like, with the amount of pulls they've been giving as of late, like, yeah, if they give enough, I could see it being possible that I still might be able to get Aizen. Keep in mind, I still haven't gotten a single early, bro. I've gone to hard pity for every single limited character. I got Bankai Ichigo, hard pity, right? Weapon, hard pity. I then went for a copy for him, which I do regret, but it makes him strong anyway, so whatever. Hard pity. Then I went for Toshiro and his weapon, both hard pity. Like, I have had absolutely shit luck when it comes to earlies for the limited banner, but it's the complete opposite for the standard banner. I have gotten like more than half of my standard pulls early, and same goes for the weapon banner, which is kind of crazy. Saint Totaz I don't see as a Wua CC. He just uses them to villainize Hoyo players. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it. I don't know. I don't really watch much like Wua content in the first place anyways, because I don't really need to. But I feel like the Wua space, and it's mostly because of the Eggman. Like, that's why CCs like that kind of came up. Like, they just kept bringing up Gacha War instead of actually caring about their own game. Like, that's why I didn't want to make a video on this Glaive thing, is because, like, something I realized, right? I go to a Saint channel, I go to Zome's channel, and I'm, like, looking at this stuff, right? And most of the comments when on these videos, it isn't about him using AI, right? Or they are, like, getting mad at him using AI. It's Hoyoshil versus Kurobot, kinda. Like, I watch a Saint video, the entire comment section is just saying Hoyoshils. I watch a Zome video, half the comment section is about Kurobots. Like, nobody's really staying on topic. So, I didn't want to make a video on it. Oh, thanks for the 2, Viegas. How's it going? It's going amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. Hope you're having a good time as well. Well, actually, I made a grilled cheese today, but I used American cheese, which I don't like. So that kind of, annoyed me a bit. This happened like an hour ago. I don't know what happened to me. My brain just turned off, but, we move on from that. We move on. Most discussion is pretty petty. Yeah. The biggest issue I personally have with him using AI is the type of content he makes. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, if you make normal ass content talking about your own game and you're like generally knowledgeable about it, I don't think anyone would give a shit. I think the reason people are so mad at Glaive is because like 90% of his channel's content is criticizing other games, and obviously more namely the Hoyo gachas. And he's been caught a few times in some of his videos making takes that are a little suspicious. So people immediately, thought, oh, he's using 100% AI because Zoe made this video. No wonder he had these absolutely terrible takes. It must be because he's getting them from the AI. I don't know if that's true. It could be. But, hey, that's the only reason I semi-understand it. That's why. Like, if you're going to be constantly critical of other games, people are going to be very harsh on you actually understanding those games. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least the communities who play them. Like, I did the same thing before. Like, this is why I got into a bunch of drama during the Wu Wei Annie, for the few who probably remember that, with like Tectone, Saint, like I think even Captain Cabinets watched my shit, where I specifically called out Wuwa creators who were trying to talk on like HSR, but when you watch their content, you could tell they didn't really know what they were talking about, and I don't know why. Like, you shouldn't really be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Aglaya, the cornerstone of the summon meta. Yeah, like that right there, that doesn't make sense, right? Because even if you want to say, oh, the summon meta, right? And you're not talking about memo sprites, then that would be Jing Yuan. But Aglaya is a remembrance character with a memo sprite. So now you are including memo sprite characters in which Aglaya has absolutely nothing to fucking do with being a key to the summon meta. You know what I'm saying? Like, for any of my HSR players in the chat, let's be honest. Aglaya is, after Jing Yuan, in the bottom of the barrel of the summon meta in terms of importance. It's not even close. So something like that would probably raise a few eyebrows from people who actually like know what's going on in HSR. Like, you know, Aglaya's a key to the summon meta, huh? I don't know about that one. Well, the global passive is real. In the first place, like these creators admitted in the first place that they didn't actually have an issue with the passive at the time, and they were saying stuff like, um, oh yeah, fake leaks. Yeah, there was fake leaks going around that Phanon, I believe Cyrene, Ceredra, and like another character would get a global passive. However, this fake leak gave them stat stick global passives, which looks much more broken than something that's just like a small revive from Casterus. So people milked that fake leak and basically used it as like, oh, this is my final straw. I'm quitting Honkai Star Rail. But it never came true. And Casterus's global passive, although you can abuse it in like sustainless zero cycles, it doesn't really have much of an effect in the slightest. Like, I'm never going to recommend someone pull Casterus if they don't own her, strictly because of a passive. Like, that's just stupid. No offense. Have you watched Glaive's clarification video? I did. I got it recommended I got it recommended to me like half an hour before I actually started this stream. He still doesn't really fully address the fact of why his videos exactly are being counted as 100% AI sometimes, because he does like fully admit that he just used AI for translating. Like, that's confirmed at this point, you know what I'm saying? But what I don't understand, and someone can explain it to me if they want to, he, as far like, people have gone out of their way to do what he's supposedly doing, like translating his ideas into ChatGPT to make a more formulaic script, and they aren't getting anywhere near 100% AI. That's the only thing that I feel like he still didn't address, is like the sheer percentage. There was never a way for Remembrance to have a distinct identity in the first place. I mean, they could have just done it with the way they did Cassie, if I'm being honest. Like, they made Cassie's Dragon probably the most interactive you can be with a memo sprite in the entirety of the game, and then they never added it to any other character on the same level. Like, you can't control Aglaya's memo sprite the same way. You can't control Everknight's memo sprite the same way. It's only Caster's Dragon that has like this really high level of control, which I don't like. So like Cassie, you can really say Cassie's like the peak of the Remembrance meta in terms of gameplay. But everybody else really falls short in my opinion. He is too lazy to fact check and review the AI output. I mean, that's the other thing I was slightly suspicious of, but I have no confirmation of. But that just goes back to what we were talking about earlier. When you're like a 50K subs channel whose main content is criticizing other games, people are going to be, well, critical of your takes, especially if they find something that doesn't really make sense if you were to play said games, right? I think he may be lacking knowledge, and this is understandable, right? Like he's trying to pump out content so fast. Like for a script um YouTuber, the pace at which he uploads content is insanely fast. So it's possible he doesn't have time to like fully understand these games he's talking about. But if that is the case, then it's kind of clear where the passion lies. You know what I'm saying? Is it about reaching an objective truth to, let people know about what's fully going on in a game? Or is it just to get a video out? And I can't answer that. I can't answer it, you know what I'm saying? They made the Cassie gameplay loop just blowing up the dragon as soon as it's summoned. Yeah, you're not wrong. I remember a lot of people, like, when she was first releasing, people were having genuine discussions on which would be worth it in the long run. Like, maybe they'd make it so that you want to actually keep the dragon alive the entire time. But nah, they just went straight for the exploding. I mean, it's just bounce damage, bro. When you're an AoE damage dealer, 99% of the time, you are going to want to use the bounce damage explosion once you get down to low amounts of targets. And there's just nothing you can do about it. The bounce is always going to be the best. It also gives her an action advance if you have her Lycone as well. Like, there's also that. She gets an action advance every single time. Blowing up the dragon allows you to use ult again? Yeah. And then you also get her E2, which gives you 30% just free charge every time you explode the dragon. So now it's like, yeah, I don't want to keep this shit alive, bro. Like, I'm missing out on 30% free charge if I keep it alive. I feel like pulling Triby E1 was bad for me. I feel like the only way you can think that is because of Cyrene, and I don't think you should really be worried about it. Like, they specifically made it so that Cyrene would shill basically every single one of the Chrysos heirs, but I don't think they'll make a support like that for Edostar. I think that was just a Chrysos heir specific thing. Like, E1 Triby is gonna have way greater value than Cyrene once we're like mid version 4 probably. And people are gonna realize this. Like, this was always the main point of Cyrene, like so-called doom posting. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people on social media, people are already making videos about how the Cyrene, doom posting didn't make any sense because the current strongest DPSs are, guess who? The M40th DPSs. But most people, like, quote unquote doom posted Cyrene because of the future. Like, when you move on to new DPSs, who are you more likely going to use? A Triby or an E1 Triby? Or a Cyrene who takes an entire cycle to get her ult up? It's always going to be Triby, okay? Like, in 99% case scenarios, it's going to be Triby, not only because of her better just general amping, but because she can abuse DDD as well. 4.0 DPS are going to be hyper different because I'm 99% sure La Mancha will be break. We'll see. I don't know if they want to keep investing into break, to be honest. Like, I feel like if they invested into break, then La Mancha would be like 4. Nah, they can't make him 4.2. 4.3 maybe? Because they love rerunning. They could do it like before or after. I don't know, man. I'm really weird on La Mancha. They really like doing best in slot reruns for new limited characters, which makes me skeptical about it. Because La Mancha was always planned for, I think, earlier in version 4. Every team gets a dedicated support, so I don't think Tribi would live that long in the future. The problem is, Ruan Mei already disproves this. Like, people still use Ruan Mei for their Phaenons, especially since she's been free. People use Ruan Mei with their castresses. People use Ruan Mei with literally anyone, because the reality is you're likely not going to have a best in slot teammate of 4 characters on multiple teams. So people still use Ruan Mei. They're going to keep using Tribi too. Like, Tribi's amp is disgusting. Even at base, it's what, 30% vulnerability and 24% res pen. And then you get the E1, so now it's 24% true damage. And then the way the true damage works makes it significantly stronger than normal. So yeah. Like, that's the thing. Generalists, they will struggle to have best in slot teams, but they will still be like mid tier in value for years. While like niche supports, they'll look so disgustingly broken on their release, but then after a year or two, they'll be like way further down in value as compared to the generalists. Yeah, exactly, Ultima. One of the things I dislike the most about people who do try to critique HSR's power creep is the mentality that not being best in slot equals trash. Well, to be honest, it depends. Because there's some DPS, like let's say for example Aglaya, right? Aglaya is one of the Amphorius DPSs that gets the lowest of a jump from going to like get Cyrene over like a Sunday team, right? Like you need Hyacine plus Cyrene for it to actually be like a bit of a noticeable jump, but you could just put it in that, same investment into an E1 Aggie, E1 S1 Aggie, and it would easily beat that out, right? So for an Aggie team, it makes sense to not get Cyrene, even though she is best in slot because of what people call opportunity cost. But when it comes to something like Casterus, like I can understand it. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like Casterus, Firefly, Acheron, back when we didn't have any, Jiaoqiu and Cypher, like it's significant. It's significant if you don't have best in slot for those DPSs. Really depends, in my opinion. Are you saying the value of Cypher is going to be better than Tribi down the line? Fuck no. No. Worst part about Cyrene is that for characters like Anoxa and Heisland, she might not even be best in slot for long. Um, the only the only possible character I think in the entirety of 4.x who could possibly steal Anoxa from Cyrene is the rumored Silver Wolf SP that was leaked to be Air Edition. That's the only one. If she doesn't have synergy with Anoxa that Anoxa can take crazy advantage of, or maybe she just has insane DPS and that makes up for it, but if she doesn't, I just don't see Anoxa getting rid of Cyrene. Anoxa is in probably the top 1 to 2, top 3 at the bare minimum of being buffed by Cyrene. It's kind of disgusting. If she has insane DPS, she's going with Thurda, not Anoxa. Well, my thing is, like, if she's so strong, then she could use either or depending on her DPS numbers. If she only cares about having, like, another Erudition character who does, like, AoE attacks, then it really wouldn't matter all that much anyways. Me personally, though, like, for example, my Anoxa, because he's heavily vertically invested in, he basically gives Harmony level buffs. So if that is the case, then I just pull Silverwolf. I don't see Anoxa benefiting from an Erudition teammate more than a Harmony one. He doesn't need a benefit. He just needs to get carried. Like that's kind of what I'm saying here. Like the power creep ends up being so significant, and all let's say Silverwolf cares about is being paired with like another Erudition character, no different to Herda, then he's just going to probably get a buff. That's kind of how it goes. It's the same thing with Hyacine and Tribby, right? Like Hyacine and Tribby don't technically want a Yunli, okay? Hyacine and Tribby don't want an Acheron. But you know what they do? They carry the fuck out of them because they have that high of a damage output. That's basically what I'm saying here. Aren't Herda and Evernight literally the same character meta-wise? DPS with support capabilities rivaling Nihilities? Well, Evernight is in a way better spot than Herda, which is kind of the unfortunate truth. But yeah, Evernight is just a way more broken Herda. She can spam her significant AoE attack way more often. She has the best, like the best vertical investment team in the entirety of the game has her in it, and then she's also the best solo DPS in the entirety of the game currently. So you're the best. Oh, you're the best solo DPS. You're also the best sub DPS for the strongest main DPS team. And then you also have some of the strongest vertical investment, only rivaled by Phanon. Oh yeah, Herda's like fine for clearing endgame content. I'm not saying she isn't. But like the power creep is so significant that unless you're looking at pure fiction, the difference between a Herda and an Evernight is like night and day. It's like really fucking crazy. New leaks because you haven't posted it yet. The 23rd is drip market, and around the 30th we'll get beta. Oh, I still need to wait 2 more weeks. Anoxa is doing more. Oh, well, oh yeah. Yeah, you have a point. I mean, here's the thing. Herda, like, like Anoxa was already stronger than Herda even before he got buffed by Cyrene. At least when it comes to stuff like APOC and MOC. Cyrene just basically, you know, just ended the debate, kinda. People couldn't really argue about it. She'll always be better in pure fiction, but in MOC or APOC, it's just always going to be Anoxa at this point. I mean, even AA, like, it's also going to be Anoxa. Before Anoxa got Cyrene, he was like one of the worst people for like fast clearing AA because the vertical investment is fucking trash. But that doesn't really apply anymore. Herda's the lolly doll? No, we're talking about big Herda, but yeah. There's a small Herda, which is basically a puppet of her, and then there's big Herda, which is actually her. Crazy how nearly every zero cycle has RMC. Well, that's because the character who synergizes with Cyrene the most, like support next to support, is RMC. So, and he's free. Like, it's just so easy. RMC is no different to a Harmony. Like, all of us can agree on this. RMC is no different to an action advancing Harmony, but he's Remembrance, so he has like extra synergy with Cyrene, and he's a Chrysos heir. I remember Anoxa being Ice Nihility. Well, apparently Anoxa was like a bit of a Augusta or Kyuan situation where like the person had a bajillion different kits. Oh yeah, I think it was a Kyuan situation. Yeah, like nobody knew what Kyuan would be. It went from like Augusta to support to being a Havoc Bane support to being an Electro support to like this and that. And then when it finally came around and we found out what Kyuan actually was, it was like, oh, like Kyuan and Anoxa had very similar releases in terms of beta. No one really could get it down. Which one of the new 5-star standard weapons in WUA would you recommend? I mean, just from off the rip, the pistol is the most valuable. Because not only is it like similar to Static Mist with the like crit value and attack, but its second part of its passive, I believe, isn't restricted by Linné. Like you just need to do a tune break. Anybody can do a tune break. So it's only two out of, or sorry, it's only yeah. There's 2 out of 5 weapons that can activate the second passive without Linné, and that's one of them. And it's also the best value one. So the other one is the Rectifier, but the Rectifier is like kind of buns. It's pretty buns. Every character can use the new 5-star weapons, but not every character can fully activate everything on the weapons. There's 3 weapons that required you to have Tune Strain inflicted on the enemy, and the only character who can do that in the game currently is Linné. So, if you have no Linné, you can't activate that second passive on the weapon. But they all will give you the first passive, which is just 12% attack. Now, there's already people overhyping the fuck out of the new standard weapons, but I'm gonna be honest, they really aren't that crazy. Like, outside of the pistol, all of them are basically just kind of filling in old gaps that should have been filled in the first place. Like, Gauntlet, it's a nice upgrade, but only because the old standard was fucking bottom tier garbage with no crit stat, right? Like, you're basically only using them for stat sticks, basically. They are stat sticks. Today's the live stream for ZZZ. I'm waiting for them to announce that I was free. Wait, is it today? At what time? I probably won't react to it on stream. I do it offline, but I like to see it. Is Ringmaster even good anymore? It's a solid generalist weapon, but I already talked about this like a million times before. The difference between standard to signature and 1.x, like for Prolova, let's say, the difference is the same for Prolova going from Stringmaster to her signature. So, like, to make it as, clear as possible what it is I'm trying to say, Stringmaster for Prolova is equal to a standard weapon for 1.x characters in terms of the jump, which is pretty insane. Like, that's how serious the weapon creep has kind of gotten. But that's Prolova specific, so like not everyone, gets a 45% sig damage jump or a 40% damage jump. So for the majority of characters, yeah, you can still use String Master. Right now it's 7:30 for me. PM. Well, actually, you guys can just see it in the bottom left. I don't have a DPS besides Prolova. I don't know what to get for 3.0 banner. I don't know what to get. I mean, you probably wouldn't get any of them, to be honest. I mean, you could just do wheelchair. And no, I'm not trolling. I think you could do wheelchair with Prolova and Lene plus Mornai. And because Lene gets like a bunch of tune ruptures off, it ends up being like decently good. But Prolova is also like one of the best characters in the game to just run randomly duo DPS with a bunch of people because of the off-field damage. Like, I've never seen a character with so many different teams actually be viable in this game. It's really rare. Now, how that'll change with 3.x power creep, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not going to be making videos on 3.x power creep until we get a main DPS, because then people will be like, oh my god, you're Doom posting. Like, there's no way they'll make the first main DPS as strong as Cart or stronger. Like, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to fucking wait. In the shadows, I'm going to lurk. Is that where wins meet? Yeah. Look at this. Innovating the gacha space, where wins meet gameplay. Insanity. Ignore the other two characters on the right side. That's just a mod I have. New support uses a sword? Huh? Oh, Mornai? Yeah, she uses Broadblade. Lene uses pistol. I'm gonna guess most DPSs will be Zanny tier for 3.x. By Zanny tier, do you mean 4 Nightfall rotation? I think by mid version 3, DPSs will have already surpassed that. Because here's the thing. To beat, let's say, a 4 Nightfall Zanny team, which I think is like 2.3, 2.4 million damage per rotation, all you have to do, make the new teams, they don't even need to be as strong as Cart, okay? They can be slightly weaker than Cart, but do significantly more tune break damage, and they will win. That's all they need to do. Like, because keep in mind, there still isn't a tune break DPS, yet Lene, according to Brax, can do tune breaks for 200k damage, like decently consistently. So if that's true, And with how much faster you can break enemies with Mornai, and the fact you do more with Lene as compared to other resonators, I think they can just easily surpass it, in all honesty. Why is he not an MDPS Sag? Tell me about it. If QU1 was an MDPS, oh my god. The S6 sequence investment would have been so much better. I'm gonna guess every DPS is gonna have a teammate only they can use. Well, I wouldn't go that far. It seems like you can use Lene pretty generally for a lot of teams, and the same goes for Mornai so far. So I'd give them the benefit of the doubt, even if it isn't best in slot. They can still fit in quite a lot of teams just through their own kind of. Well, now that I think about it, Lene plus Mornai is just wheelchair. Like, that's kind of what's going on right now. Like, Toon Break is such an effective mechanic with those two on the same team that you can wheelchair a majority of older DPSs to being good enough for clearing anything. It is kind of how it is right now. Now that I think about it, it really is just like Super Break. Like, people just used HMC with like older characters and DPSs, and it carried through the Super Break mechanic. It's kind of the same thing. Not really hyped for Toon Break. I think most people were hyped for Toon Break until they immediately remember that it's a gacha game they're playing, and they're going to lock some mechanics behind it for limited resonators, specific ones. Like, that's what I kind of realized with Wuwa. To a lot of people, Wuwa is like the potential man of gacha games. Like, when Toon Break first got announced, everyone was like, oh, it's a universal mechanic. Everybody's going to be able to use it. And I had it in the back of my head, like, how the fuck are they going to make it? Like, what's the mechanic going to be called for newer characters to take better advantage of it? And everybody's like, nah, bro, you're just doom posting. You know, you're a Hoyo bot, you're a Hoyo shill. There's no way they're going to do that. It's nothing like Super Break. And, like, it's exactly like Super Break. They sold it exactly like Super Break, man. Potential man mentioned Yuta is a bum. I thought Megumi was going to get brought up. True Damage did it better. I mean, the thing is, if this game ever added True Damage, the support power creep would be cooked. Like, I do like to give Wuwa the benefit of the doubt in terms of, like, not power creeping its support so hard. If they ever release, like, a decently, you know, sized True Damage buff on a support in this game, like, it just shit on every other character, kind of. It's just broken. Like, oh, I have 20% true damage. That means you do 20% more damage. Like, that's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, in this game, supports don't give that crazy of buffs. So, true damage would genuinely be game breaking. Goat Haraga? Yeah. I'm keeping up with the Modulo chapters right now. It's been really nice. That artist is like so goated, man. Gege should have done this from the beginning. He should have had an artist and then let himself take care of just the story. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Like if you also add like a true damage buffer in this game, not only is the buff alone like insane power creep, but you then have like with the way Wua sells its characters of making niche characters significantly stronger, like let's say negative status compared to generalists, they would then probably try to make a niche character that far exceeds the value of something like a 20% true damage support for at least 1 or 2 DPSs to sell, and that would lead to insane levels of power creep. Like, it would be crazy. Like, let's say you add a support that's twice as effective in buffing as compared to SK because of true damage, and now that generalist support is competitive to like Chacona, Phoebe, like Lupa, and a lot of these teams, despite the fact that they're kind of niche, then they're gonna release a niche support that's even stronger, and now we're at fucking 3 million damage teams per rotation. Just that easy. Why was bro so happy dropping down like that? He was trying to kill Yuka. Someone pointed it out. I didn't realize it the first time I read it, but he's trying to step on Yuka's shadow that she went inside of. But let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it anymore. I don't want people who are like normal, anime watchers to get spoiled too much. What happens if a niche character power creeps the other niche character that needs separate teammates to do optimal damage in the same patch? My brain just like twisted itself trying to comprehend that. Not because you said anything wrong, but because I just got brain twisted. What happens if a niche character power creeps the other niche character that needs separate teammates? Isn't that just Cartethia and Zanny, at least in average rotations? Cypher versus Jiaoqiu? Yeah, there's also that, yeah. That's a good one. I mean, then again, the thing is, in this situation, you use both. Like, that's kind of what happened. It's not really recommended because I believe Cypher plus Harmony is still stronger. But you can still use Cypher plus Jiaoqiu with Acheron. Like, that's what a lot of people did. Like, for example, if you made a second Phoebe that was a little stronger than Phoebe for Zanny, then people would probably just kick out Chisa and, like, SK and Spectral Rover. And then put Phoebe plus the other one together. You have to do it, like, kind of multiple times if it's for one specific DPS. Otherwise, they're just going to combo the two. You can use Zanny plus Cart? Okay, not that. Maybe not that. You know what I'm saying? For, like, 2 DPSs that are different, yeah, it's, like, more annoying. But if it supports for a specific DPS, then you can deal with it. 6'9". Roshier got power cuts from Canarella a long time ago. Yeah, I didn't want to say it. I think it all depends on this upcoming Fusion Burst DPS in 3.1. If they don't really want, what's it called? Chisa, I genuinely think, wow. Like, the amount of people that got fooled by content creators into believing that Chisa is a 3.x SK must pull Bro, if the Fusion Burst DPS doesn't want her that much, it's gonna be funny as fuck. That's all I'm gonna say. I think it's hilarious. I love Chisa. Don't get me wrong. I love Chisa. But like, how did Canarella power creep Roshia? They weren't used in the same team until Prolova came out. Well, they probably mean like Roshia only had one best in slot team, and now she doesn't have a best in slot team anymore. Because like Canarella, most people are still gonna continue using her with Fro probably, and nonetheless, like Canarella probably has more value to people as compared to Roshia. Roshia has good grouping, but that's basically it. It's probably just the best in slot thingy. Follow up the question. The niche character just got its full team in the early patches, but that team gets completely shafted, made useless because of a new shiny toy they added. In a version. I mean, yeah, that's pretty bad, but like, it just depends on endgame difficulty as well. Like, does it really matter? How long does it take before it really matters that much? It's Kiyuan that kicked Roshi out, though, not Canarella. I mean, isn't SK plus Canarella already kind of competitive with Roshi in the first place? Like, maybe they're coming from that as well. Like, Prolova can use almost anyone, is the thing. Like, she has this definitive best in slots, at least in her, like, main DPS team, which is, like, Kiyuan and Canarella. But pretty consistently, it's Canarella that's the main one on her team, like, the main support. So that's why they're probably saying Roshia, because Roshia just got replaced so much easier. That's just how I see it. Like, it might not have been a one-to-one thing, and I'm just trying to understand it. Do you think we'll get another Rover Sig for a different element? No. I'm gonna be honest. I think they regret. I think they regret making Rover Sig. Oh, really, Uni? But yeah, I think they regret making Rover Sig because a big part of why Chisa looks so underwhelming compared to Rover and a Cartethia team is solely because of the fact that we got future refinements of Arrow Rover's sword, and that shit has arrow damage amp on it. So it made Chisa look so much worse. I don't think they'll ever give Rover a weapon again because it'll be easier for them to sell a new limited. You think they'll ever rebalance characters? What, Wua? I don't know. It's like 50-50 for me. I could see them doing it because of blind faith, right? Like, oh, it's Wua, right? They do what the Hoyo games don't really do, but they haven't really shown anything, I think, for like being interested in buffing older characters at all. Even people are glazing this upcoming new endgame because it has like general buffs. Bro, from what I've seen, the shill buffs in that endgame are like, bro, 2 to 3 times as potent as compared to the general buff. So it's like, I'm waiting for it to be added in Hakushin so I can get like a better idea. Surely Toon Break will buff the older cast? I mean, not really. The HP inflation in this tower alone basically got rid of the value Toon Break gives to older characters. I think I talked about it in my video. But like, for example, going against the 2.8 or sorry 2.7 TOA reset without Toon Break, and then going against the 2.8 TOA reset with Toon Break, you'd probably clear the same. I think, because of the HP inflation they put. Venti got a buff before Jinshi. Okay, let's calm down, guys. Let's calm down. I don't disagree that what Genshin is doing with like buffing older characters is really good, but Genshin is half a decade old. Jinshi is like a little more than 1 year old. the Venti took a long time to get buffed. Okay, it took a long time. Now, you could also make the argument Genshin never really needed the buffs for like its first 3 years because its HP inflation and power creep was slow as shit. But like, yeah. We will get Jin Shi support 6.x. True. True. Can't wait. I mean, that's just kind of the way they've chosen to go, Solus. At this point, like, there's no point in even, like, trying to defend it. It's simply, like, how much does it bother you? You know what I'm saying? Like, HSR decided to go the power creep and HP inflation route, where they kind of make every character strong, or most characters good value. But then, like, the power creep and HP inflation reflects that. Wua decided to go with less power creep and HP inflation, but to make teams more restrictive. So if you want the full experience of a team, it's gonna cost you more pulls. It's less about clearing and more about just the full enjoyment. Like for example, there is nothing at all. Let's say Castris and Evernight, right? You pull Castris, even though Evernight is best in slot, you're not losing out on any extra, type of gameplay by, having Eevee, Evernight. And without Cyrene, Evernight isn't even like a significant jump for Castris' team. Like, she is an upgrade, but it's not significant without Cyrene or like more vertical investment. But the power creep is insane in HSR once again, so or they could have also gone the Genshin route, which is release limited 5 stars incredibly slowly and genuinely make good 4 stars. I mean, Genshin shills a lot. I mean, I don't know, man. I just think Genshin handles it the best by far. They're the most stingy with their pulls, though. The restrictions are giving more power creep than other games legit. What you mean, like going from San Hua to Chicona and going from whatever 4 star to Phoebe? Yeah, the jumps are significant for those characters. Yeah, yeah, I can see where you're getting at. But the thing is, HSR has already reached the level where they've kind of gotten to the same point as Wuwa in terms of like niche character. Well, actually, Cyrene is best in slot for every Crisis Air. It's not really the same. Because like these niche supports in Wuwa are 1 or 2 DPSs. Cyrene is like the entire fucking 3.x roster almost. I don't know, man. There's like a mix. I know somewhere in the middle there's a best of both worlds where like this entire thing balances, but it would never happen because these games have their own predatory practices. Like they have different marketing strategies and how they like to make money. But I think somewhere in the middle, like I think Cyrene is actually perfect. I'm not gonna lie. Is this a hot take? A Cyrene is basically perfect in terms of like a mix of niche, but at the same time being so-called general because you span like an entire year's worth of DPSs. Or is that a hot take? Is that like not considered niche if you work for that many teams? Because in HSR, I love calling Cyrene niche. You guys know this. I always call Cyrene niche in HSR, but like using WUA standards, Cyrene isn't niche at all. Like Cyrene would actually be considered general in WUA probably. Cyrene is a good character. If you play Cyrene in WUA, she would be a god tier character. Not just a good character. She'd be god tier. Because of how much she buffs the specific DPSs she does. And for how many. You don't need to do zero cycles to do endgame. Like, people need to stop acting like your account is bricked because you can zero cycle. If I'm being honest, what I've noticed with the casual player base in HSR more than anything is sustain issues. And this is why I ranked Don Hung as high as I did in my video about the best free 5 stars we got this year. People absolutely refuse to invest into sustains or fully build their characters. And so these older sustains are finally showing age and people are just straight up dying. Like, there is also the damage check, don't get me wrong, the HP inflation and stuff and the shilling. But I think the casual player base struggles so much because they refuse to pull sustains. I also think if you play HSR smartly, you can probably clear endgame as easily as people do in WUWA. Not exactly, right? But for example, the current break archetype, because break just got insanely buffed, and it's also a very universal type of damage anyone can do, people are now just running E1 Ruan Mei, which people got for free from golden tokens. They're then running Fugue, they're running Dahlia, and then they're running HMC main DPS and getting zero cycles. Like, if you take advantage of that for probably an entire year, and then you just keep getting like these generalist supports that make older characters usable, bro, you never need to really spend on anything, man. Like, significantly. Unless you're trying to zero cycle. Like, that's a different story. That's like Don Hung is the GOAT. I agree, Uni. I don't think supports can carry as hard in WUA as they can in HSR, but there are so many more characters capable of doing DPS in WUA as compared to HSR. Or is that maybe not true because of Tribby and stuff these days? Hmm. I don't know, man. Like, oh, this could be hours long fucking video. But I don't want to do it. I can make like an entire video going into the depths of this shit, but it's too much to think about, man. There's so much nuance in all of these games. They function differently. Like, it's a lot. Now, what I'm curious about when it comes to WUA is the new endgame, right? Because the new endgame is already leaked to be 3 teams. Technically, TOA is multiple teams as well. But this new endgame should be the hardest so far. So, I'm curious about that. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait for 3.0 to come out. We'll be able to fully understand Toon Break. See, you know, how well Lene and Mornai do, and we'll be able to see this new endgame. Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, I'm gonna be honest, if you get Blade off of losing the 50-50 in HSR, that's just a free DPS. Like, you do need to invest into probably like a Hyacine plus something else to really make Blade shine. But if you get Blade for free, bro, that's just another free team. My Cassie account got a free E1 Blade, and whenever I split Evernight into another DPS for the second team, I just use Blade with my Cassie, and it works. Well, it's way worse though. Let's make that clear. It's way fucking worse. But that's because I have an E2S1 Evernight as well. Wouldn't it be hard to do 3-team content in WUA? Not anymore, in my opinion. Not anymore. Because they now have 3 generalists. You have Verena, you have Mornai, who also has really strong vertical investment, so you can like make up for it by getting the 40% damage bonus. And then you have SK, which like a lot of people already have sequences or just normal. I think they are enough for clearing. It just depends on the difficulty of the new endgame. The endgame, like TOA, is easy, right? The hardest part about TOA, it isn't end game difficulty. It isn't HP inflation. It's getting debuffed by the goddamn tower because of shilling. Lately, they've become much more open about it, and most of the time you basically have to deal with 15% more res if you aren't the shield team. But even then, once again, the HP inflation, at least for now, has been handled well enough where you can still clear nonetheless. Right. That's why I'm curious about this new endgame. If it truly is supposed to be harder than TOA, and the shill buffs are even more potent, then how is that going to end up going for some of these, you know, older teams? And that's what I want to know. This is the worst shill we've had. Previous one wasn't nearly as bad. I was too busy working on this account to do the previous one. Oh. 3.0 will have 15 per. Oh, yeah. It's the Tune Rupture one or the Tune Strain one where you need to inflict it to get rid of the res. Yeah. Same thing. I forgot. The thing is, not only do the shield teams not have to deal with the res, they also get fucking insane buffs. Like, if it was just the res, it's like, okay, my older team is maybe 15% weaker or something. But no, dude, they also give, like, other stackable buffs as well for, like, echo skill damage, negative status, tune break, tune rupture. Like, they shill it like crazy, man. It's like, my goodness. Now, keep in mind, it's been a while since I played ZZZ Endgame. I had a lot of people tell me recently that like Genshin and ZZZ Endgames are on another level of shilling. I can't speak on that, okay? But like Wuwa feels the worst to me so far, probably. But HSR enemy shilling, okay? I'm not gonna lie here. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. HSR has some pretty bad enemy shilling, in all honesty. It's mainly Deadly Assault in ZZ's case. Well, Shiyu Defense is getting a rework, I believe, with the Aishun Guang's patch. I like this TOA being harder. I feel like left side 4 with the time consuming grabs really pissed me off though. Yeah. You can get really pissed off in what's it called? Wuwa with some enemy animations. Like invincibility frames, they fly around if you're not a gun character. Uh yeah, you can also get grabbed. Chop chop. To be honest, I just wish every single character in Wuwa had their S1 interruption resistance in their base kit. And then people wouldn't care as much. Because, like, let's all be honest, healing is kind of useless in this game if you just learn how to dodge the enemies and time it correctly. People mostly care about just being able to interrupt or not get interrupted, because then that messes up a rotation. I mean, I know it's not happening, but like in an ideal world, I think more people would care about not getting interrupted than enemies doing damage. Healing is just there to proc rejuve? Yeah, basically. That's basically what it's there for. So, I'm close to not being able to 20k on ZZZ. It really depends on chill. Let's see. Here's the thing. I am... How should I say this? Am I a sucker? My favorite characters in all of these gacha games end up being the most shield ones. And there's nothing I can really do about that. Like, the strongest characters, I usually end up falling for the most. Usually, right? Not always. But, like, for example, in ZZZ, I have Miyabi, and then Ye Shun Guang is, like, so hot to me, and then she's also a Void Hunter. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just free. Like, I feel bad for anyone out there who has like genuine hatred for like characters like Firefly, Cyrene, Acheron. Like, I see so many people out there like, oh, waifu bait, waifu slop. I'll never pull these types of like, I genuinely like these characters and they're broken as fuck at the same time, so I can't understand people's struggle. Like, I'm bringing this up because in ZZZ soon, my two main teams are just gonna be dual Void Hunters, okay, with their premium teams. Like, I don't have anything to really sweat about. One thing I found funny about those that complained in that fashion, oh, I mean, it's just that shipping is probably more popular among that community, I think. Bro, ever since I started HSR, the Fireflop hate posts have been popping up in my algorithms, and now I feel bad for her. The entire Fireflop thing kind of started from Zolza, in all honesty. Like, it was really Zolza. Like, everybody made fun of Fireflop, and they called her that. But the one who really started popularizing it and making it about meta value was Zolza, which is kind of funny. But people heavily underestimate Firefly. And that's mainly because they decided to either never reinvest into her team ever again. But, like, here's the thing. Firefly has been getting 7 to 8 cause 0 cycles consistently, even up until now. And now that she has Dahlia, she clears, I believe, significantly better than that. So, like, she's always been viable. It's just people refused to invest. You know what I'm saying? It's like using basically. Imagine using Zhang Liao, right? Imagine using Zhang Liao, no weapon. You're using like maybe free to play teammates with him, and he's struggling to clear endgame content like mid 3.x of Wuwa, and you're like, bro, this guy's a flop, man. Like, this guy fucking blows, right? That's the thing. Like, there's a lot of nuance. Oh, thank you for the five chameleon. Thank you so much. Help me, Gabby. I started HSR for Phanon and Anoxa, and I didn't know they literally share the same teammates, and now I'm stuck. Okay, here's the thing, Chameleon. Here's the thing, right? If you have to choose between the two, the one who gets Cyrene is Anoxa. Okay? That is the one who gets it. Cyrene is best in slot for Phanon, but it's nowhere near the same, jump in value for Phanon as it is for Anoxa. So what I'd recommend you do is you run Anoxa Cyrene, and then you can probably just get Saridra or RMC, and then run him with whatever sustain, right? And you can choose Donhung PT between either Phanon or Anoxa. And then for Phanon, do you have an E1 Branya? I'm curious. Do you have an E1 Branya? Because I wouldn't recommend ever going into Sunday until you have an E2 Phanon. Like another limited character for Phanon. He always needs his Eidolons. But of course, until banner, but I'm just curious. Phanon can do sustainless. I mean, I'm assuming they're an average player who probably can't kill fast enough, maybe. Unless they have E2 Phanon. No, but my Phanon is E2? Oh, okay, never mind. I think you're good. Honestly, I think you're good. You might be struggling currently because maybe you don't have Cyrene for Anoxa, but if you do have Cyrene, just keep it on an Anoxa's team, and then just use Phanon with any action advancer at all. Maybe Ting Yun, RMC. I believe those are like the main ones. Yeah. I was thinking of Archer for Hanya for a second. And I think you're in the clear. And I have Sunday plus Lyco. Oh, you're good. You're good. Is it just that you don't have Cyrene right now, Chameleon? And you don't know what to do? Because you don't have Cyrene? If you do have Cyrene, just keep it on Anoxa's team and you're completely in the fine. Saridra's really good for Phanon. I think Saridra's a bigger jump for Anoxa currently. At least combined with Cyrene. My account is bricked in all the big four. My next target is Saridra. Yeah, the same goes for my Anoxa account right now. It's probably going to get Hanami because it's on a guarantee. I lost it for Cyrene. And depending on when Saridra reruns, I'm going to go for one or the other. I pulled literally all their best in slots. Cyrene, Saridra, Sunday, Tribby, and I don't know who goes where. Okay. So, Anoxa, Cyrene, RMC. And then you can decide which team you want to use Donhung PT on. Because honestly, both of them kind of benefit the same. But Phanon will probably feel worse without Donhung PT as compared to Anoxa. And then for your Phanon team, you just use Phanon, Sunday. I'd say Tribby plus Sustain, honestly. You can use Ting Yun for faster ult, but I just use Tribby because she's stronger. Sunday Tribby for Phanon. Cyrene RMC for Anoxa. Wabam. Wapow. What's better, Saridra Sig or Sunday Sig? I think Sunday Sig is better because it's more universal. You can use Sunday Sig on Sparkle. And you're probably going to be using it on future harmonies as well then. Oh, they have Saridra. Oh. Um Never mind, just kick out Tribby. Never mind. You can do either or, honestly. Kick out Tribby from Phanon's team and put in Saridra, or kick out RMC from Anoxa's team and put in Saridra. Literally whichever you want. To be honest, I think they get very similar jumps using Saridra. You could go either or. Thank you so much for the 5, though. Greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot, Gabby. I will no longer make fun of you for folding. Guys, I don't fold, man. I don't fold. No problem, though. I mean, they were just asking a question. I could see it being a real question. Because Anoxa and Phanon do basically have the exact same best in slot team. Both of their best in slot teams is Saridra plus Irene. They probably just wanted some quick help while also supporting me, which I greatly appreciate, for what would make them lose the least DPS. I have a new character to use Sari with, so I'm not pulling. Understandable. Not using Archer because no Sparkle. Bro, oh my god, bro. I wanted to talk about this, man. Archer, I kind of coped about it at the beginning, right? But I kind of need to come to the realization here. Archer feels so much worse without Sparkle. Like, so much worse. I don't know what it is, but he just clears so much slower without Sparkle as compared to Sunday. And that's with Don Hung PT. I already know Archer gets like a massive nerf going into sustain, okay? But like, nonetheless, it's crazy. I mean, I've been seeing some crazy Clara clears on my For You page recently. I'm not even gonna lie. People are actually using Clara against fucking Knights, AA. They're using her against like everything right now, man. The Clara revival. What Chaos God would you serve in Warhammer 40k? What's the names of the Chaos Gods? I'll just go with the one that sounds the coolest. Kobe Maru. Hard to 4x skill without our troll. Yeah, I can do it with E1 Archer pretty consistently with Sunday, but the thing is, like, with Sparkle, you can get off like 5x skills a lot more consistently. While with Sunday, the cap is basically almost always 4x. So like the problem I run into with Sunday Archer sometimes is I'll get 4 arrows off, and the enemy, like, they have some gimmick that they're about to go into their next turn, but I can't stop it because I can't get another arrow off, which ends up kind of fucking me over, and it takes me longer to kill them. Korn, the god of blood. Sneech, god of mischief. I'm going with Sneech. God of mischief sounds fun. Reminds me of Loki. Not doing all that brute force with the Rem team. Yeah, I did pure fiction with my mono Rem team. I put it on auto and it just got a 0 cycle. It's really that easy, man. When you pull the shield anniversary character team, that's just how it goes. You pulling for Lene? Nope. Nope. Maybe Mornai. Not Lene, though. I just saw a tweet that the worst pull value characters of each version were Topaz, Lingshaw, and Saber. Topaz, Lingshaw, and Saber. Lingshaw. Uh, I'd say Yun Li is lower pull value than Lingshaw. Like, at least Lingshaw is a sustain you can use. But Yun Li was like bottom of the barrel of 2.x DPSs. She has like bosses she can specifically counter, but outside of those, she's not really crazy. You can also use Lingshaw as a main DPS, which is like something a lot of people have unironically done for a while now. You don't even need a crazy amount of cost either. Like 4 or 5 cost Lingshaw main DPS, that's been clearing basically all endgame content. I just think Yun Li is worse. It's not that I don't think Lingshaw is bad value. I just think Yun Li is worse. But Topaz and Saber, you're probably not wrong, I'm going to be honest. Yeah. That's probably right for version 3 and version 1. Surely I get something after all of this, right? Wait, I missed it. You're the lolly man, sir? What the fuck, Yun Li? I mean, to be fair, I've also criticized Sparkle like most out of all characters in this game in her pull value. And Sparkle's also like kind of in the same situation, so it's not like I hold back. If you wanted any proof that I try my best to be as objective and unbiased as possible, there's your proof. Proof is in the pudding. Wait, I didn't get anything. Why'd I do all that? Well, you claim in the event page? Nah, I think I'm just cooked, man. I think I'm just cooked. From the permanent elusive realm? Isn't that this one? Or oh, nope. I forgot Zanny got a skin. Oh wait, you're right. I forgot Zanny was getting a skin. Wait, she has it now, no? It's 2.8, right? I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot. Yeah. It's on discount. Huge. After trying Where Winds Meet, it's hard for me to go back to Gacha. Bro, you have no idea, like, playing Bleach Soul Resonance and Where... Like, it's actually crazy, bro. In the last month, Bleach Soul Resonance, with its god tier pity system, and, like, devs listened moments, and then Where Winds Meet. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they kind of shit on all these gachas. I still love HSR and Wua nonetheless, but I don't think it's really close. Wua skins are mid in general so far. Yeah, to be honest, I'd agree. They need to make more skins that change the visual effects of character combat. I think that would get so many people spending on skins more, like Jinshi's. And they need to release them more often as well. DNA the Gotcha Killer made people realize that gameplay is still what matters most. Oh, 100%. I don't disagree. Like, if Bleach Soul Resonance had very underwhelming gameplay and it was, like, really stiff, I probably would have never played it. But because it actually, like, for people who don't play Bleach Soul Resonance, it basically has Wuwa Quick Swap. There's multiple animations that can keep a character on field for a little longer, allowing you to quickly swap to another character to like maintain buffs or do more damage. So there's also a skill gap in Bleach Soul Resonance, no different to Wuwa, except because Bleach Soul Resonance is kind of marketed as a mobile game, they also have auto. So like if you're a casual, you don't even need to sweat trying to hit that skill gap. So it has good gameplay. The only thing is the graphics are a bit low quality. Like it's blurry for some reason. I don't know if they'll ever fix that. But aside from that, god tier pity system, they have a lot of events and stuff too. And then Where Winds Meet is dead ass just like I don't know. DN or sorry, not DNA. Where Winds Meet is basically like kinda a gotcha, but the gotcha is literally completely useless for in-game progression. So it's just there. On the usual, it's just a solo player game, which I like, by the way. I really like that. I might start Bleach when Aizen releases. I started Bleach recently myself because of Bleach Soul Resonance, actually. At the Arankar arc right now, at the beginning of it. Why are you a capybara? I don't know. They're just like chill. You know what I'm saying? I aspire to be capybaras. Do you watch Thousand Year Blood War arc? No. Like right now, I'm getting into Bleach. The last time I watched Bleach was like a decade ago when I dropped it because it was my least favorite of the big three. But I'm giving it a rewatch currently. I mean, I say a rewatch, but I don't fucking remember anything really, except for a little bit of Soul Society. I wish there was a PC port. Want to see you play on stream? Oh, 100%, man. If there was a PC port, like the majority of my content currently would be Bleach Soul Resonance. It wouldn't be like Woo or HSR. I can't wait for me to make a video criticizing something about like Wooa and someone calls me like a Hoyo shill and it's like I'm just playing Bleach Soul Resonance, bro. Like they're calling me a Hoyo shill, right? And then both accounts I have Starlit Homecoming because I haven't logged into them in weeks. Like, bro, that would be hilarious, man. Oh, thank you for the 10. Lulu 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 Lamb Poo Poo. I have to make sure I get it right, okay? Thank you for the 10 Canadian. I'm also Canadian, by the way. Nice to know a fellow one's in here. Thank you so much. Just Lulu is fine? Okay, okay. Labubu? Bro, I've gotten a lot of TikToks recommended of some crazy person just saying Labubu and scaring the fuck out of their parents. They say it in like a weird voice. It's like, Labubu, or something like that. But they have candles around them and they're doing like fake rituals at night. Just a very random thing I see on TikTok every here and then. It was Lulu Lamperouge, but my GF kept calling me Lampoopoo. Damn, that's a sick name. Lamperouge? But that's funny. She just kept calling you Lampoopoo? That's actually really funny. The whimsy of actually having a real relationship. If only I could relate. That's from the anime Code Geass? Yeah, I've watched Code Geass. It's one of my favorite anime. I should probably rewatch it. It's been long enough. Some rich family member in China gifted me some limited edition Labubus, and I'm holding on to them and seeing if they'll gain more value later on. That is probably the most random lore drop I've ever gotten in my chat. Hey, I hope they fucking skyrocket in inflation for you and you make a bag off it. It's like people investing into the RAM prices right now, except that's just insane, man. RAM is absolutely disgusting. Any woman in chat, fucking crickets, man. Crickets. They don't exist, okay? I heard Labubu, so I had to. Surely they'll fetch a fortune someday. I mean, people were spending a sizable amount of money on Labubus when they were like a much popular trend earlier. I saw, like, I saw apparently like there was someone on the street who went around like reselling Labubus they bought for like $5 or $10, at like double or triple the price on a TikTok, and like they actually made good sales. They were just going around a park, instantly selling it. I know my name's Stealth Boy, but I'm a woman. Oh, Blad as well. Oh yeah. I guess there's a few in here. I guess there's a few. It's nice to see. I welcome all. Woman in need of Star Rail special pass. uh, AI takes all the RAM? Yeah. Unfortunate. You know, the craziest part, I think, of this entire Glaive thing that's gone on is I didn't realize how many people use AI. Because I'm going to be dead honest, right? I, at least directly, don't use AI. Like, I've never used ChatGPT directly in my entire life. Like, when I search something on Google, and this is basically the only AI usage I technically have, automatically at like under the search bar, for some reason they added some feature that makes it so that you get an immediate answer from AI. It's not even always accurate. Like, that's the most AI I've used in my entire life. I didn't know you could use ChatGPT to like write scripts, get in like instant information from a bunch of places. I just use Reddit, bro. I just use Reddit and YouTube. I use AI for my Python assignments. I use AI daily. I don't enjoy AI and wish it didn't exist, but I use it while doing my full-time job, software dev, all the time. Yeah, that's understandable. I can see it. Gabby is a redditor. I don't use Reddit for posting. I just use Reddit because Uwa leaks Reddit. Honkai Star Rail leaks Reddit. You also have some of the main Reddits, and then most importantly for gooning. I made one post on Reddit like a few days ago on the Bleach subreddit about Orihime because I'm finally watching it, and it blew up, which is pretty cool. It's about her eating a fuck ton of bread. Unk Capybara? Yeah, fortunately. Unk. Why does she eat the whole bread? No, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I first posted that on my community post, people are like, oh, what's wrong with just eating bread? You know, she's poor. It's like, okay, right? But why is she literally like grabbing the bread by the hips and eating the entire loaf bite by bite? Like, you know what I'm saying? And there's not even a beverage. There's no bev to be found. Just straight raw loaf of bread. It doesn't look like the good fresh cooked kind either. It just looks like grocery store. I wish I had an S6Q Yuan. Yeah, it's really fun to be honest. Now I'm gonna okay. 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 Here's the reality of owning an S6Q Yuan, okay? And I'll run you through it real quick. He's fucking underwhelming for S6, okay? Like it's pretty underwhelming, but he's fun, right? And that's all that matters at the end of the day. It's about how much fun you have. Just like all those people who get mad at me in my videos when I talk about meta, talking about, oh, waifu over meta, Waifu over meta. It's the same thing here, right? Fun over meta. S6 on is worse than S3 Brands, but yeah, he's fun. See, like, why do you have to rub it in, man? I have S6 Chisa and it's the best decision ever made. Here's the thing. An S6 Chisa, I'm pretty sure is unironically stronger than an S6 Kyuan. Because one, not only does she have the stronger sequences to like compensate for the base difference in damage, but two, she's getting buffed by Linne. Because Linne gives 25% liberation amp plus 15% general amp. So main DPS Chisa, I think, is genuinely stronger than Kyuhyuan, which is, yep, yep. What's the difference between S2 and S6 for him? Well, his S2 isn't really what buffs him; it's his S3. His S2 is mainly just buffing for the team as a sub DPS because it's echo skill damage amplification. This S1 it's just kind of underwhelming. It's just interruption resistance and crit rate. But it's this S3 that makes him a really strong main DPS. And to be honest, you get extremely diminishing returns getting the next three even up to S6. Like, there's no point in going to S6, right? You should always just stop at S3, basically. But yeah, S3 to S6, it's not a significant difference. It really isn't. True, butterfly, true. That's literally like why I like Akabi. Perfectly described Akabi. Are you saving? Please don't abbreviate Cyberpunk. Please, uh, please don't abbreviate Cyberpunk. Yeah, I want to get Rebecca. I really want to get Rebecca. You gonna save those polls for S6 Rebecca? I mean, I'll get something of Rebecca. After I get Mornai and maybe one more DPS for the new 3-team endgame content, because now I have Fro, which I'm going to use with SK. I have S2 Verena, which I think I'll use with my Kyuhyuan. And then I'm going to want to use Mornai with like some new DPS I get. And then after that, it's just all going to be going into Rebecca probably. I just hope they don't brick her damage. Like, even a sub DPS I'd take. Like Chisa. If there's like sequences I can kind of make up the difference for, like maybe S3, I'd still be happy to go into Rebecca. I just hope they don't completely brick it. You thinking of trying Arknight's Enfield? I'm gonna be honest, no. I'm playing too many games right now. So no. At least for now. I got unexpectedly caught off guard by Where Winds Meet, and I got unexpectedly caught off guard by Bleach Soul Resonance in the same month. I can't do anymore, man. Too much, to be honest. That's why a lot of people have been like, yo, where's the ZZZ content recently? And it's like, I am logging into ZZZ to like max out polychromes, but bro, I just don't have the energy to like learn another game right now. I already have so much on my fucking plate. We all know not to listen to anything Foldimaru says. Guys, I don't fold that much. Like, where did this lie even come from? Where did this lie of Foldimaru even come from? You hold more than the average person? Is that like, is there statistics on that? Or is that just subjective bias? I think that's just bias. Chiso best in slot, Chiso best in slot. True, true, true. That fusion burst DPS that's leaked for 4 point, or bro, I keep getting confused with HSR and Wuwa. 3.1 is gonna change everything for Chisa. So she does a roll if you hold left click long enough. And then she just does an attack if you use normal basic. HSR 4.0 isn't real. It can't hurt you. It can't. You're right. Crying on the inside because we got fucking Plan Arcadia instead of Edostar. There are tears in folding, and the top stop just said Gabi Maru. How many times have I folded? It kind of started in the anniversary, probably, with Zanny and Wuwa. I was like, yeah, I don't want Zanny. I'm going to skip her for Cart. Then I said I was going to get Brant. Then I actually got a Zanny. I think it started there. The Foldimaru Tales. Sari? This Zanny thing was way before Sari, though. To be fair, I actually said I'd always pull Saridra, no? I said it was like a subjective pull. Although I always thought her meta value was like mid at the time. Can we see your Wuwa roster? Oh yeah, it's stacked, man. It's stacked. Look at this. What do you think of the roster? It's pretty steep. Love to see it. Yeah. Let's just say S6Q Yuan. He costed me about 2 premium teams, so that's how much he's worth. Does he perform like 2 premium teams? He doesn't even perform like 1, but that's not part of the topic, okay? I'm glad I didn't listen and I pulled Sarija for Phenom. Best FOMO choice I ever made. Yeah, like, I'm just going to be honest, bro. I'll take it on the chest. There's no way I could have guessed they would have made Cyrene that fucking stupidly synergistic and specifically for only Chrysos heirs. When it came to Cyrene, I was just so confident she'd be like a straight up RMC upgrade and super general for everyone. I didn't think they'd give the fucking Chrysos heirs specific buffs to make Saridra more valuable. Like, how am I even supposed to future craft? How am I supposed to play future ill when they do shit like that? It's actually impossible. Is S6 Kyuan better than S9 Gion though? I actually wonder if a Gion has a high skill ceiling. That's a thing. Like if you learn how to play Gion, like yeah, he's actually easily better than Kyuan, in all honesty. That's with his premium team though. I think it's like Cha plus SK. Like you guys need to understand, Kyuan sequences are so shit that like probably, despite the fact that 1.x character sequences are also like complete shit, like Kyuan sequences are probably on the same level, I think. Do you think there is going to be a point in WUA where S6G on is mid compared to an S0 DPS? Yeah. I think it'll. Well, mid is pretty heavy. I think mid, it would probably take until version 4. But I think in late version 3, an S0 premium team will be stronger than an S6 Gion. Probably. Unless you wheelchair that Gion. Unless you wheelchair him. Because I already talked about it before. The strongest team in 1.x was like Cammy, and that was like 1.3, 1.4 million damage per rotation. And the strongest team in version 2 is Premium Cart, which does at minimum 700 plus K more damage than that team, which is 50% power creep. And keep in mind, like I brought up previously in a video, going for Chisa on a cart team, if you don't plan to probably go for the new Toon Break teams or need the new Fusion Rover, whatever he's going to be, is stupid. Like, if you go into S2 cart, it's just way, way more valuable because she's able to take advantage of a free support. Like, that's just an advantage she has. Do you think there's going to be a point where S6 Kyuan is in the same level as a S0 3.x DPS? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Solus. We're kind of already at that point, even without 3.x. Like, Kyuan's damage is so goddamn underwhelming. He's maybe slightly stronger in a hyper carry team with S6 as compared to a Cartethia premium team. Like, slightly. So, Lene Mornai seems pretty wheelchair. Yeah, that seems to be the case currently. I took a quick look at Chem's calcs a little bit ago, and I saw like 10 different teams doing like really solid damage. And it's because they're just all getting wheelchaired by Lene Mornai. It's like the new Hyacine and Tribi of Wuwa. I only did the question to make fun of Kyuwan. Thanks for reading. Come on, guys. Come on. Do you think they'll add old units to standard? Or something like HSR with the shop? No. I mean, I've heard they did it with PGR. Maybe. But they don't really treat WUA the same as they do PGR. In terms of like what you can consider generosity. And considering how much they fucked over the standard weapons, I don't know. Like they've yet to show. I was talking about this earlier in the stream. They've yet to show any interest at all in putting older characters on a banner for like normal players, right? Like there used to be a leak of the 1.x banners you get as a beginner player that used to be leaked as something anyone could take advantage of, right? Like they'd have a separate banner for these 1.x characters and everybody would be able to pull on them at any time they want. And I thought like, oh shit, right? This is game changing, but they didn't do that. It's literally only for beginners and it's time gated. So I'm really iffy on if they really do it anytime soon. Maybe 3 years into the game's lifespan, I say. That's gonna be my guess. Like maybe version 4 is when they finally start putting in older characters on like a banner or something, or put them in a shop. I think the reason why they're holding out is because they don't want to put SK in there. Because like by all means, SK being a 1.x character should obviously fit the criteria for going on like a old banner or a shop. But if people start getting S2 SK, then they have even less reason to pull the new characters. Like S0 SK is already a beast, but S2 SK is another beast. You know what I'm saying? So depends on how much they care about SK's value, to be honest. It's basically just E1 Ruan Mei all over again. Like, yeah, you can use E0 Ruan Mei, but, the power creep's gone bad. Game's like 2.5 years old. Wouldn't recommend it too much. But, oh, you can get E1 Ruan Mei in HSR. And that changes things. That adds more value. As someone who has S2 SK, yeah, carries old teams, yeah. Because she's now giving like um let me see. Rejuve plus fallacy is 25% attack for the DPS she's buffing, right? Then S2 is 40% attack. So 65% attack, 12.5% crit rate, 25% crit damage, and then she also gives amp. Yeah, 15% amp. Like for Wuwa standards, those are significant buffs. Okay. Those are really significant buffs. On top of that, if you're a player with a massive level of skill issue, even S1 SK would be a nice bonus for you. If you're for some reason having like incredibly long rotations, now you're not losing any damage from the Stellar Realm being down. They'd probably do the same thing as Genshin, where they excluded Kazuha, Yelan, and Alhaitham for the obtainable constellations. To be honest, this might be a hot take. I don't think Wuwa would do that if they did implement something similar to Genshin. I think Wuwa is very like cautious of their public image, and like they know they've kind of had like this uprising in player base from the better Genshin perspective. So they'd probably want to one up Genshin. I think if they committed to that type of system, they would just include even important characters. But they probably wouldn't do version 2 characters, is the thing. Probably wouldn't do version 2. Because the thing is, if you put version 2 characters, then let's all be honest, everybody's just going in for Cart or Perlova. Most namely Cart, though, let's be honest. Cart is just the easiest character to get super strong if you go into sequences for. Is E1 Tribi the best support in HSR? It's the most universal support in HSR, yeah. Best support depends on the teams on your account, but yeah, objectively it would be Tribby. They didn't care about their image when they gave the any rewards and 12 banners. Well, they instantly gave 10 pull compensation, which made the WUA players say, oh, look, we actually did get a good amount of pulls. Devs listened, and they really didn't face much more backlash other than from people with half a brain, which are pretty rare in the WUA CC space. So they kind of got away with it by just giving compensation. Are you trying Enfield? Most likely not, no. Because I already have too many gotchas on my hands right now. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's subjective how much you enjoy one game over the other and its advantages. I will say, I'd never play Wuwa as like a story game, okay? Like, I don't know what other people think of Wuwa's story, whether they think it's like absolutely exceptional, it's on another level in the gacha space. But when it comes to like lore, story, stuff like that, Wuwa is probably the gacha that least interests me in that aspect. I play Wuwa, and the reason why I really like Wuwa is the graphics, the fluidity, the animations, the combat, um, and to an extent, like a little bit of a skill gap on characters, which I'm not all too used to from HSR because it's more a mechanic skill gap than a knowledge skill gap, right? That's what I really like Wuwa for. But yeah, I don't play Wuwa for story or like super interested in character story stuff. Yeah, Wuwa has really good cutscenes and storytelling. I'll say that. Like you can glaze Wuwa for its better storytelling as compared to like a lot of the Hoyo games, and as well as its cutscenes. Like they put more work into making it look good, and I guess like feel natural. However, actual like story, I wouldn't give it that much. I don't know. I kind of think of Wuwa the same way I think of like JJK, right? Like I love so many anime and manga, and you know, One Piece is my favorite series of all time. But I think JJK is my favorite series to like actively watch and like kind of consume because it's just a lot of fun and a lot of action. Instead of improving gacha rates, Enfield has no carryover system. I mean, we'll see how many pulls Enfield ends up giving. I don't think it's yet confirmed how many pulls they give. So it's possible they can make up for it with that or something. Wuwa is just hype moments and aura. I mean, I don't think JJK is just hype moments and aura, but yes. In like a very general way to just get the point across, yeah. That's kind of why I play it. Who was the solo leveling of Gacha? Um, hmm. Now that I think of it, the MC is kind of just like Sung Jin Woo. Like he doesn't really, like, he just keeps on winning and like becoming stronger and stronger. And then the stronger he becomes, the more serious the enemy becomes, and then the stronger he keeps becoming. And then the story, although it has side characters, you never really like heavily focus on them that much. I mean, here's the thing. It's not a direct translation. It's a good comparison, actually, more than I thought. But the thing is, in solo leveling, like, enemies are dealt with instantly. Like, few chapters. Like, a new enemy pops up and just instantly dealt with in a few chapters. I mean, though, I will say, right? I love solo leveling. I actually read the manhwa when it was like first releasing actively so long ago. But yeah, like I really like solo leveling, even though it's not the best story. Have you seen the new One Piece episode? Yeah, I have. Joy of Boy Hockey. I'm also keeping up with the manga. I mean, Wua does sometimes make a side character very important. Like I'd say they made Cartethia like a big focus during version 2. They really made Cartethia a big focus, but she's kind of the exception in all honesty. Like she's a pretty hard exception. You could also make the argument for Prolova, but even Prolova I don't think got as much focus as Cartethia did. You read Chainsaw Man? Nah, not really. I get spoiled about it every here and then just from TikTok naturally, but that's it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I will be ending the stream now. My throat's getting a little dried up even though I went through an entire water bottle. And I will be taking my rest. Hope you all have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys didn't need to, but you did. And I can always appreciate that. Once again, I love you all. And